All right. What's going on, guys? It's Madman Plant. We are here in the lab and a couple of little different things tonight. So, as you guys know, I'm mostly interviewing other people. Well, a while back, one of my good friends and co host of my YouTube series, Paul, that owns Hydroculture, interviewed me. And tonight I want to share that video. Now, this video is found on the on the website, but I don't know how many people have actually seen it. And it's a great introduction to my story and kind of like the advocacy of what I have going on and where I've been through in my life of how this all kind of connects and works, going forward. I'm also joined tonight by my co-host, Grillnomics. What's going on, my dude?
Not much, just hanging out. How's it going?
I'm doing fantastic. It's a wonderful night, and just so everybody knows, there's a couple updates. So one of the first updates is from now on Wednesdays, I will try to go an hour earlier on 7 o'clock, as long as that works for you, Gronomics. If it doesn't, we'll keep it at the same time. But I'm no longer coaching soccer practice, so I don't have to wait until 8 o'clock. But you're 3 hours behind us, so if it makes more sense to you, we'll keep it the same. You just let me know.
All right.
But because I love you being here. But also next week we're going to be in Vermont, which I'm pretty excited about. Another stop on the tour, which I'm very excited about. And I think we have some new sponsors that are going to be joining us. One of the people who we met in Illinois has already sent us a whole bunch of stuff, and they gave me this shirt in Illinois, which is a Pink Floyd jersey, and they just gave me this hat, and the company's called Grassroots. And what's great for you guys is I have a huge Grassroots giveaway. So yeah, Madman Soccer Coach. I'm telling you, dude. There's some things to know. If you haven't coached soccer before, there's definitely some things. One, the parents are very, very hyped sometimes, to the point where you kind of have to get in their faces a little bit. Like I had one guy keep telling his kids to look at him and not me while I'm trying to do the drill, and I had to talk with him, and it led to a heated conversation. But those parents don't play, and sometimes those parents are off the fucking wall nuts. Like no fucking crazy, like they're batshit crazy. Like what? This is a kid's fucking soccer game. What the fuck? I don't know.
It's almost like a fair game.
Oh, it is. 8-4. What's going on? My dad coached a soccer team, and it was great. Yeah. Oh yeah. Entitled, demanding, and then they don't respond to the emails. Their kids don't show up to practice, and then they wonder why the kids are losing during the games, and then they look at me like I'm a bad coach, and I'm like, well, I showed up to practice. I worked on the drills with your kids, so what's up? So check this out real quick. So Grassroots sent over this entire box of swag for me to hand out. Now, just so you know, we're changing this up a little bit, only because I'm so busy. I've fallen behind on the giveaways, and if you're expecting a giveaway from me, it's coming tomorrow, because I had to update my PO box because it expired, so I had to get a new PO box, which is PO box 3072. If you want to send me a message or a nice card or sticker or some fan art, whatever you want. But check this out. So we're going to be doing 2 big giveaways per month, one in the beginning of the month and one at the end. This is better because they're not just small individual items. I can work with other companies who work with me as far as giveaways to give you guys a little bit more. So this way you win like a prize pack versus just an individual item. So with this being said, I want to go through some of these hats real quick before we dive into my video. So check this out. And Gronomics, I'm going to hook you up with one of these too, because you're awesome, my dude.
Hell yeah.
What's cool about this is it has the Velcro patch, so you can change the bear on the hat.
Oh, wow.
And then check this out. Every hat, as you guys know, has a custom inside. So every design is different. And you have that silk smooth, even on mine, right there. Look how nice that is.
Mm.
And the hats are really, really nice quality. Look at that. Look at these two together.
Nice.
Oh, yeah. So with that, we got, let's see if they have a name for the style on it here. This is the Bear Collection. All right. So we got that one. That one's the same one. We've got the GRC 710 Colorado. That's pretty nice. We got, this is like a black front, and then you got the cool, like, like Aztec, design on the sides here. You got the same one. Look, this one is the blackout bear. So you got the designs on the sides all the way around, and these are the fitted. So these are not the snapback or the adjustables. This one is pretty fucking tight. Look at that shit. That is awesome. And these are going to be available to win not only on the website, but like I said, twice a month. So we'll have them on the website too. But look at the inside of that.
Nice.
Oh, yeah, dude. I forgot to show you guys the inside of this one. That's what I'm saying. And that's what I love about companies who put the extra detail into their product. Like right here, this looks like they're mountains. So it's a mountain range with no snow covered.
I've always liked the extra detail in places that you normally don't see it.
Oh, yeah.
Man, they hooked you up.
804. I'm going to make sure you get one, dude, because you're always hooking me out behind the camera. Look at this one. See, you got the G for grassroots, and then you got the paw. So it looks like a bear paw. And this one's a nice, just like standard black on the inside. Let's see here. Ooh, another one. Another paw. This is like a tie-dye inside. Look at the bottom of this. Oh, shit. Look at that, dude. That is fucking money. Look at this. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Mm-hmm. Oh, this is smooth, dude. You got your flowers, your parrots on here, your pineapple for that Pineapple Express. And look at the inside. It's cool because the hat is the shape of like, they have like the shape of seeds, like from a strawberry, or like the little vents and everything. They're perforated like little triangles. That's pretty cool. Let's see here. Ooh, this one's pretty cool. This has a cork lid to it. So the lid is made out of cork. And then you have that beautiful inside with the pineapple and everything. We have another nice one. This is like that corduroy material. And then when you have it in here, you got that. Oh, it's like a crazy. Oh, it's that crazy eye bird or the hot rod logo. I forget the name of it. I know it off the top of my head, but that's pretty cool. The giant red eye with the wings. Let's see here. They sent a lot, dude. These are gonna be some awesome giveaways. Nice design inside, standard black, and then you got that nice grassroots with the rope right in front of it. And then on the other side,
that was just one side.
Oh yeah, that's just one side. And then when we were in Illinois, we spent some time with Grassroots. They were on our podcast. We talked to them for a good minute. So we definitely developed a great friendship with them, and there will hopefully be more to come from them. So I love this one, the green on white, very nice. We got one of their kind of sun hats. You open that up, that's standard inside, but it's very nice. Master Kush. Bam. Another one here. We got the standard. This one's pretty nice. I like that one. Sorry, I can't see it with my light here. Let's see here. The other ones are pretty much just a repeat of the other ones you've seen. So, definitely giveaways to come regarding this. And as I knock down all my photos on my desk, wow. So, tonight, what we're going to do is a little bit different. Next week, we're going to be accompanied by Allison Justice, who, if you don't know who Allison Justice is, she's a powerhouse in the cannabis community, doing amazing things, and I cannot wait to have her on the platform. Tonight, what we're going to do is we're going to learn about me and my story. Earlier this year, my friend Paul interviewed me, and I'm going to share that interview with you guys tonight so you can learn a little bit about Madman Plant. Once the video is over, we're going to go into dive into like an open Q&A. We will do one of the giveaways tonight, which will be the first giveaway for June. The next giveaway will be at the end of the month. But I'm really excited because this way you get to understand where I'm coming from and kind of the background and like avenues that I've channeled that kind of led me to this point. So with that being said,
Yeah, I think that's awesome. I think a lot of people haven't really seen your side of the story, so this is going to be great.
It is going to be great. So bam. All right. Here we go.
What's going on, guys? It's Madman Plant. We are here for a candid conversation. I think it's important as we take this 18-state tour off to give an audience a great perspective of why this matters so much. Sharing my own story and then Paul chiming in with his. You know, I don't think it's fair for you guys to not know the backstory of mine and why I'm so passionate about this. So here we go. And it's just a candid conversation.
Yeah, just turn the camera on. We're gonna roll. But yeah, I guess we'll start it off by saying why is Madman Plant want to be so involved with mental health? What is that?
Okay. So I think it really resolves down to when I was younger, at 13, to kick things off. I was picked on as a kid. I didn't have a lot of friends. And I really just didn't have I was struggling to find my place in the world and what I was gonna do, how I was gonna make my mark. And I spent a lot of time by myself. And sometimes I would get physically abused at school. I mean, I've been pushed up against lockers and
Bullied.
yeah, and I got in a bunch of fights. And that's actually how I got kicked out of one school, which wasn't even really my fault. It's just I just kept getting picked on, and it's one of those things where you just you decide if you're gonna fight back or you just decide that's how you're gonna allow people to treat you, and you just can't allow people to treat you like that. So when I was younger, I was on a growth hormone to get taller, and it did work. You know, I was supposed to be 5'2".
So were you really, really small for your age, or?
Yeah. I've always been small. Like I'm the same weight and height that I was in high school.
Yeah.
So not much has changed. And I used to take injections like in my legs and everything. Well, one day after school, I was having some bad thoughts, so I thought it'd be cool to, well, not cool, but I just thought it might be an answer because I just was like really going through it, and I was like, I'll just fill it up with gasoline because I was like, well, I wouldn't even know how to do anything. My parents didn't have firearms or anything like that. And I didn't want to like die like a painful death, but I wanted to die fast. Which when I had the conversation with my dad, he said that it would have been very painful.
I was gonna say, did you think about that? Because that would have hurt.
I didn't really think about it, but I was just to the point.
You just knew that would do something.
And I get to the point where I was sitting down and I pressed it against my leg, and I could feel the needle like touching everything. And then something got in my mind that said, you know what, I should just go to Universal Studios, Florida, and Disney World. So
anyway, how old were you in this? You said like 13, 14?
Okay, so I was like 13 or 14 because what I did is my parents would give me a credit card to have in case of emergency when I was like out on like trips or like school things or whatever. And I've lied to the airline twice about this, and it worked. I'm not suggesting you do it, but what I did was I had their credit card, so I called the airlines and said that my grandmother was in the hospital and that she just died, and my mom's been down there for months, and I just got a phone, and my mom's frantic, and I don't know what to do. I just need to get down there, and within 3 hours, they had me on a plane to Florida. And
so how'd you get to the airport?
Oh, taxi.
Oh, okay, because that was before Ubers.
Yeah, I was like home alone.
Yeah.
And I got to the airport, and then I called my mom. It was actually on her birthday. It was kind of shitty, but in a way, it's not because I would have died on her birthday. But sorry, the dabs always get to me. What happened was I called her from the airplane because back in the day you could swipe your credit card and make a phone call, and I told her that I was on the airplane to Florida, and she's like, "No, you're not. Just come on home." Blah blah blah. Because in my neighborhood back in the day, we just go like the pool. It was during the summer, right?
And you're from Nova, right?
Fairfax Station.
Okay.
So like, yeah, the nicer suburbs areas and stuff like that. And they didn't believe me, so they checked their credit card statement, and then they figured out that I wasn't lying. So my mom's like, "You need to come home right away." Blah blah blah. And I was like, "No, I'm not coming home." I was like, so I need an escape.
Right now, you're 14. You're at Universal Studios in Florida, talking to your mom. She's telling you to come home, or you're on the plane.
I'm on the plane.
You're still on the plane. Okay.
Yeah. So when I got there, I got to the hotel, right, and they wouldn't let me check into the room because my ID didn't match the ID on the credit card. So I had to call my parents, and they had to like talk to my parents essentially. And my dad had 2 identical credit cards. I had the other version. He had his. He was able to provide his copy of one, and they let me check into the room. So the first couple of days go by. I went to see my friend John, who died behind a dumpster from an overdose. Now, when John played a big role in my life, because when I was getting picked on, there's one time that I was walking back from lunch, and this kid out of nowhere just grabbed me and just shoved me up against the locker and like was holding me there, right? And out of nowhere, I didn't even see John. I didn't even know John was around. But out of nowhere, he just comes in like a superhero and just body shoves the kid. And John was a lot bigger than I was, and always worked out. Like it like ripped. And God taught me to just start like hating him. He's like, "If you ever touch him again," he's like, "I'll fucking kill you." Blah blah blah. And like we were like best friends. Like we hung out all the time.
So he lived up there too, but what was he doing in Florida? Had he moved or something?
He moved. He always had a troubled hood life. His dad wasn't involved. I actually know his dad. His dad actually works here in Fredericksburg, and is not involved in his life. I always kind of treat him like a piece of shit. His mom's not involved in his life. Kind of like a sad story. Now, John wasn't a perfect angel. John did some bad things, right? But the John that I knew was a different John than the world saw. You know what I mean? They see, the heroin addict, the bad decisions, some really bad acts against people. But I was before my time.
I was gonna say that's probably not when y'all were 14. Yeah.
Exactly. So I remember childhood John. I've seen this guy cry about wishing that he had his parents in his life. And a lot of this, comes from these conversations early with a lot of people growing up, because when I was younger, I was ADHD. So instead of making me deal with it, my parents put me in like special needs classes where I was with people that had serious problems,
like serious psychological problems,
serious, either anger management or wasn't fully there. So my whole life, I've been hanging out around with people with mental disabilities. But to make a positive about that, I've spent a good portion of my life working with people with disabilities, from being a karate teacher all the way from Eddie's Club, from coaching baseball teams. I've spent a lot of time with different types of people. I think that's also kind of what qualifies me to go out and talk to all these people about their lives. Is I've lived a lot of different lives with a lot of set group of people. I even hung out with the deaf community, which I was highly rejected from because I could hear, and they didn't want me to be a part of it, even though I was trying to learn sign language. And they were really nasty to me. And I couldn't understand why somebody who had hearing that wants to spend time with you, you would kind of outcast them so much, as like the enemy. But you learn from people who speak all the time,
Mm-hmm. So back to Universal Studios.
Sorry.
So you're there, you get into your hotel, then what?
Well, okay, so the first couple of days I had a lot of fun. I went to the parks. I went out to eat.
All by yourself?
All by myself. Yeah, all by myself. And then I had my friend John, who I picked up because he lived in Orlando. And then he came with me, and we went to the parks together because his grandfather was loaded, so he had cash on him. And then one day, like the third day or whatever, because I was calling my parents, they were talking to me, making sure that everything was okay. And one day I came into the room, and the closet door was open, and I closed the closet door. My dad was there with his laptop, and I was like, "What are you doing here?"
He just showed up.
Yeah, he's like, "Well, your mom was concerned, so she sent me down here, to, bring you home essentially." And I was like, "Am I in trouble?" And he's like, "You're already down here." He's like, "I think it'd be better, honestly, if you just told me why all this is happening." And I told him the exact reasons and my alternative plan, and he was very happy that that did not happen. And after that, we stayed for a couple more days, and then we drove back. Now, when I did get back, there were consequences for my action. Like, I lost my computer for a month, and I was semi grounded, but it was a lot better than the alternative. And then fast forward to 2020, when I was in my really bad car.
Well, hold on. Before we fast forward to 2020. So you're 14 then, and then you still have a whole, life of high school after that. How was high school for you?
Towards the end, it was a lot better because I became the cooler kid. I was one of the first kids to ride a motorcycle to school. I got my motorcycle license at 18. So from 13 going on, I actually befriended the people that were picking on me.
How did that happen?
Well, when I got back, because obviously I had to go back to school, there were a couple times where I stood up for myself, and then through class, we were in the same classes together. So we were partnered in projects, and then kind of like over time, it kind of broke down a little bit. Plus, I think I grew a little bit more of a backbone because I had done the whole thing in Florida by myself, and I'd realized that that's not what I wanted to do. So I feel like I had a little bit more sense of purpose. But Nick was one of the guys. He used to like set me up on the backside of the head all the time, and we actually became great friends.
Yeah, and I feel like as people, like when we go to high school and stuff, and we get like as everybody gets older, kind of mature out of the whole bullying thing a little bit. Not everybody, but I do think I've noticed that throughout like my high school career as well. Then so like after that, I mean, turn 18, 19. What are you doing after you graduate high school?
So when I graduated high school, I got married for the first time.
You said married?
Yeah.
How old were you?
18.
You got married at 18?
I knew my wife for exactly 6 days before we got married.
How'd that work out?
We were together for 2 years, and then we got an annulment.
So y'all were still married for 2 years? Like after
I got divorced at 21.
Okay.
Yeah. And this is so when I turned 18 years old, I was still in high school, but I had moved out of my house. I was running my own townhouse.
Damn, at 18?
Well, my parents were paying for it.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I can't take too much credit. But I was living in my own town because my parents were kind of sick of my bullshit. So when I was younger, I wasn't a bad kid.
He's hyperactive.
Well, that, and I just kind of like entitled a little bit and not entirely grateful. The understanding of like how I feel today versus then is a lot different because of life experiences and being an adult. When you're a juvenile,
and don't take this the wrong way, but it sounds like you were raised to be able to kind of have whatever you wanted.
I didn't get everything I wanted,
but a little bit.
For the most part, all my basic needs
were taken care of. Yeah.
And like,
which isn't a bad thing. Some people have that and some people don't. It's a matter of how you take that and grow from it, because some people don't turn out good from having that.
Yeah. And nowadays, you use that in business to have other people handle things that you need to get done that are honestly better at it than you are, and that's kind of the value of that, is that delegation and is being able
but then, so all right, you get married 2018, you get divorced at 21.
Mm-hmm.
Where were you at?
So when I graduated from high school, I went down to Florida to Wildtech, the motorcycle school, and got my degree in engineering and mechanics for Harley Davidson.
So you're a certified Harley Davidson mechanic, right?
Yeah, I used to build a lot of motorcycles and a lot of engines. And then when I came back, because I was in Florida for 2 years, and that was a lot of fun because I did bike week. And that's also where I actually got to be a hang around with the Outlaws, because
I say, weren't you in like a little biker?
I was never in a 1% club.
Yeah.
I've been a hang around at a 1% club, but
what does that mean? It just means you're allowed to like just chill with them.
So in the 1% world, just like even in the Masons, like in Masons you have degrees. In the bike world, you have sets of patches. So usually you'll get your bottom rocker first, which would say prospect. And then as you move on, you get your other patches, which have the insignia. Then when you become a full pledge member, you would get the normal, regalia or whatever like that. So for instance, a hang around in the motorcycle world is an outsider. So no affiliation with the club, no status. You're not involved with any activities that you wouldn't bring your mother to. So in a way, it's a great position because you can befriend a lot of great people, and I've met a lot of great friends through there. My experience with them was I was in Daytona Beach, and on Main Street is like the main strip for bike week. If you don't know what that is, it's a huge event. It happens twice a year.
It's like the biggest bike event in the world or in the country.
Yeah, it happens. Well,
other than Sturgis,
I'd say Sturgis is probably bigger, but you have one in March and you have one in October. The one in October is a little bit shorter. Bike week in March is way bigger, and it's a huge fucking party. Well, when I was in school, I was there a couple weeks after Bike Week, and some of the hang-arounds were what?
You're talking to me, not them.
So some of the outlaws were there, and they were playing around with the waitress, like throwing ice cubes. They were all friends, and I went up to them and I was like, "Hey, listen, I don't want any trouble, but I've seen a lot of things online and Discovery Channel and everything like that, and I just, wanted to meet you guys and see what you guys are really about."
They're a pretty well-known rough and rowdy group, right?
Oh, well, yeah, the Outlaws can be known for that. I mean, any 1% club can be known for that, but I'm sure their mission is not to create havoc.
Yeah, of course.
They're just doing whatever they do. But Cloudy was his name, and Cloudy honestly became one of my closest friends through it. And with that being said, he was like, "Do you have your bike with you?" And I was like, "I do." So at the time, I had my 2011 Sportster, which was Aztec orange. It's a very limited edition Harley. It's a very specific orange. It almost looks copper. Really missed that bike too. And we got on my bike, and me and like 3 other members, we all like rode for like maybe like 50 miles, and we came right back to the bar. And they were like, "You can ride pretty well." They're like, "You should come to the clubhouse on Tuesdays and Thursdays, because on Tuesdays and Thursdays at like 5, I think it was like 7 or whatever, they would have open house. So as long as you were like affiliated in some way, like a friend, a member, a hang around, a prospect, you could attend, and you could also meet other members." Well, there was this one time in school, in Wild Tech, people underestimate it a lot, because a lot of people who are in Wild Tech, they had degrees in motorcycles
already.
Or not degrees, experience. Like they know about engines and compressions, and I don't know anything. I'm learning everything firsthand. All I know is I love to ride motorcycles, and I learned very quickly that I don't love working on bikes. I love riding bikes. There's a main difference. I love it, but it's just not something I want to do, especially the way the payment is set up. And to do it on your own is a lot more difficult. And nowadays, everything's by computer and electronics. So you're really just diagnosing computers. You're not like, it's not like no longer like carburetors or anything like that. But
same with cars.
Yeah, but I remember one of the teachers was like, he's like, "You would never make it around the Outlaws." He's like, he's like, "They would eat you up." And then that same teacher, I came to one of the open house nights, and he was right there. He was a Black Piston, so that's a support club to the Outlaws. And then I had friends in the Reapers, who they're a street bike club, but they're also a support club. So support clubs are not maybe 1%ers, maybe not 1%ers, but they're blessed under the Outlaws, so they have the support.
They're like their sister club or something.
Yeah. So with the motorcycle world in general, there's a huge respect that that is given and demanded by clubs, and if you want to have a patch on your back, it's respected to go to the club, the highest ranking club in your state. So in Virginia, it would be, I believe it's the Pagans, right? So you would go to the Pagans and say, "Listen, I would like to, have a patch." And that's the right way to do it.
So even if you were like starting your own club or something, you would go.
If you were going to start your own thing, right? Where was I going with this? Remind me a couple steps.
So I mean, your teacher was there.
The teacher saw me there, and we became friends after that. Well, once the school found out that I was hanging around with the Outlaws, people would whisper to me when I was walking down the halls, "Dead man walking." They were so convinced that they were going to just beat me up and steal my bike. It never happened. I gave respect, and I was respected, and and I had a great relationship with them. And some of them actually came to my high school high school graduation, my Wild Tech graduation.
Nice.
And they named me Pickles. because when me and Cloudy were on our way to Burger King, he was in the car with me. We were getting Burger King, and I asked for extra pickles on my burger, and he's like, "That's your new nickname, is Pickles." And like I said, it was a really cool experience. I mean, I got to ride in some pretty big lines, you know. And when you're in that, when you're with them, dude, they ride fast. I mean, there were times where it could be like raining, and we did this in Bike Week, which during the time in Bike Week, I've been to Bike Week like 3 different times. But when I was with the Latin American Motorcycle Association, which I got kicked out of for smoking weed, they're Latin American, but I got kicked out of them during Bike Week because I smoked weed. And, you know, it was just like, it was bullshit. And, anyways, I lost my train of thought again. This is the problem doing this.
So they're driving fast.
Oh, yeah. Dude, it was like 9. It was like pouring down rain, like hard as hell. And the president of our club was doing like 95 miles an hour, and it was the scariest shit I've ever done. Now I had a Heritage Softail, which are fat tires. It's a heavier bike, full size Harley, you know, so it rides a little bit, you know, more steady during highway speeds. Small bike, you're gonna feel it a lot more. But it was one of the scariest things ever. But I mean, it was a lot of fun. And I've ridden from Virginia to Florida on my bike several times.
You've gone further than that, haven't you?
We've been to California, all the way to California.
From Virginia, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And that was awesome. It took about 9 days to get there. And we actually trailered. Our one friend had a Jeep and a trailer, and it was me and another guy on motorcycles. And we would sleep in the U-Haul trailer at night, and we would ride during the day. And some of the coolest moments are like out there on the road.
So in this period of your life, did you feel like you were experiencing any type of mental health issues or anything at that point? Or were you like kind of in a good spot?
No, so I didn't really have a job back then, you know, almost couldn't make my bike payments. This is when I was with Lindsay, my ex, like 2 girls right before Lacey entered in my life. And she didn't believe in my dream about being a photographer or a videographer. She could have wanted me to work at like Walmart and have been satisfied. And I knew that there was more to it than just working, you know, for somebody. So
you still weren't, you were having a good time, but you weren't like in maybe the greatest place.
No, because I was living at home again. You know, I'd been back home after Wildtech, and I at the time didn't have a job, you know, was still searching for my purpose.
You're probably what, 23, 24 at this time? 22?
Probably around 23, 24.
23, 24.
Years before Logan. And it was definitely an experience to ride across country. And then, you know, I think what really set it off was in 2020, when I was in my car accident going to Homegrown to vend for MadManPlant, a semi truck, just to give everybody an idea, if there were 3 lanes, that would be a Honda, this would be a semi truck, and this would be me. And what happened was the semi truck came up and kind of came into my lane, so I had to slow down. So as I'm slowing down, it corrects. Well, as it's going up, it also goes to the right. Now, the way that it was driving, I couldn't see exactly what was happening, but I didn't see any smoke. I didn't see anything happening. So I'm driving. Well, what happened was the truck really turned the Honda sideways, just like that pen, and kept going. Well, as I'm coming up this way, the pen or the car crosses, spins out 3 lanes of traffic, and I hit it dead on the driver.
Like that, right? Like head-on collision?
No, he came in, he spun out, and then like here's him in the driver door, and I hit him dead on.
Oh yeah.
As he was leaving the highway.
Around like 70 miles an hour, probably.
We were 70 miles an hour. That's gonna end soon, just so you know.
Okay.
So when that happened, I think it brought a lot of things out only because
Because I mean,
I
shit,
haven't dealt with it
y'all got out of that with pretty much without a scratch, right? Like
without
I've
a
seen the
scratch.
pictures from it, and it looks
Hmm.
fucking gnarly.
Yes, and it was gnarly.
Your car was flipped over in a ravine. When it was it flipped over, or was
Oh
it the
yeah, we
other car that was
landed.
flipped?
No,
Yeah,
we spun about like 6 times or whatever. I mean, it was fucked up
yeah.
bad.
And y'all were in the SUV. That was when y'all had the SUV. So
Yeah, but it did its job. That
yeah,
Santa Fe was on point. But I think what happened was it brought to light a lot of things that maybe I hadn't been dealing with in the past that I've
bottled.
like suppressed, and then everything just came out, and I went through like a really deep depression right after the accident, and a lot of those old thoughts kind of came to play in
How
a
would you
way.
explain that period of depression? Like, what were you doing physically? Like, were you working, or were you kind of not wanting to work?
Oh no, I'm the type of person. It's
Just work
you
through
don't
it.
stop moving, dude.
Yeah.
It doesn't. I was always taught that like you put your feelings aside and you handle your business.
So when
And
you're feeling this depression after this wreck, you're just kind of like, fuck that, push that to the side. I gotta get
well,
my shit
yeah, I
done.
mean, no one really knew.
Yeah.
I never talked about it, never posted about it, and that's just how I am.
What
I'm
kind of
not like.
thoughts are you having after this? Like, are you like, well, fuck, I almost died.
Well, I'm
Maybe I
like
should do something, or
survivor's guilt and realizing that I'm not living the life that I want. So I'm trying to create that by the travel and everything that I'm doing because one of the most important things about my grandmother's death was before she died, I talked to her a lot about her dying. And one of the things was she talked about how she was truly at peace and that it didn't matter if she woke up, that God repaid her in every single way and she lived an amazing life.
that's a good
And
way to die.
well, yeah, and I want to be the same way. And the day that the accident happened, there's an emotion tied with almost dying, and I didn't feel that way. So now
So
I'm
you don't want to be
determined.
back in that spot.
Yeah, now I'm determined to live life to feel differently.
We'll just go. We'll start after you had your car wreck.
Okay.
So pretty much, basically,
A quick little note: the camera froze or died, so it's just the audio from this portion forward. So it'll go back and forth, but I think it's coming to an end too. So just to let you guys know.
you had your wreck. Sorry guys, we ran out of SD, so this might be a little off. Um, you ran your wreck, or you had your wreck, and then I mean that kind of showed you like, fuck, I'm almost died. I'm not where I want to be. I'm not doing what I want to be doing. This kind of sucks. So I'm gonna try to change that. What I guess since then have you been doing? Obviously, we see this.
Yeah, well, this is a big priority of it. And then we also have my production company, with work.
Mhm.
And, pretty much, so after the car accident, I went through a deep depression. And I'm a very silent person. I don't really talk about it a lot. And in the depression, I got put on like anxiety pills and depression meds, but I didn't think any of it worked. And then this is where honey comes into play because I told the doctor, I was like, dude, I'm not going to be on these pills the rest of my life to balance me out. I was like, there's got to be an alternative way that does not involve medication and just smoking. And that's when my doctor, Mary, who she's retiring this year, which sucks. Um, she's like, well, maybe a service dog would be good for you. So that's when we went looking, and Honey has been able to learn how to work with me in a lot of different ways, like tactile redirection, deep pressure therapy, behavior assessment. She can gauge, how I'm going throughout the day, and she plays a pivotal role to kind of working with me when I feel off, when I feel out of place, and like definitely like when we were in Vegas, this year. Like I had like kind of like a really off time. Like, you expect to be like happy and excited, because you're in Vegas. But honestly, I felt no different than I did, when I was at home, you know, and and I feel like in a way it kind of affected the trip because, you know, maybe my morale was a little bit down. But you know, I'm also here to do a job with the Grow series and, you know, the podcast, so I have to, you know, get myself to a position where it's like, okay, well, this is what you got to do because this is what you set out to do. And I think one of the things with me talking to other people is, you know, that'll help me better understand my
What you're going through.
situation and honestly help other people that are going through the same thing because you just don't know. And as somebody that had the option to take themselves out and almost did, and then somebody who involuntarily almost lost their life, you know, it definitely plays on two different like parallels, you know, and gets you to see different things. You know, one of the unique abilities that I have is I can see my emotions, I can see other people's perspective, I can see my perspective, so I have very good self awareness. Even my therapist is always talking about like just how impressed he is with how like aware of situations and feelings and things that I have going on and how like in tune I am with them. And I think, you know,
It's interesting because I notice a lot of people don't have that. It seems like a lot of times, and I wonder, and I feel the same way as if I have like a really like in-depth situational kind of like self-awareness, and there's somebody also who's been diagnosed like heavily with ADHD and everything. I wonder if that's kind of like a side effect because you know you hear people like use your mental disorders as like a superpower, right? Figure out how to hack them into where they work for you instead of against you. And I think that that is one way that that does that is because when you are ADHD, you're hyper aware of everything that's going on around you. um, and if you're able to control that in a way where it's not just distracting you, I do think it can be a powerful tool to have in your fucking toolbox.
yeah. And but I think a lot of it too is a lot of people they don't want to feel uncomfortable. They don't want to go through the pain of, you know, becoming better and clear minded. And you gotta I think of like depression and anxiety much like a cancer. It's a toxin within the body and it needs to be removed either mentally, physically, spiritually, because you know that's the leading cause of death is like heart disease and stress. You know what I mean? Perfect example. And also, I think too, as you get older, you get a lot more clarity because you experience things a lot different when you're young. You're young and restless, and you have this like resilience and this kind of like naive sense that you're invincible and you're not. And as you get older, you become, wow, I am like fragile.
I feel like I've
Wow.
been noticing that like over those ever since I turned like 30 and going forward, like, you know, that could kill you.
Mm,
Whereas like when I was in my 20s and teens, I would do whatever, not thinking twice about it. Like, I mean, I used to be into all the extreme sports, all that kind of fun stuff, and just doing stupid shit. And now I'm thinking about like, oh, should I drink this soda? Probably not. You know, it's totally different. But yeah, I think that is something that comes when you get older, and I feel like that hit me pretty hard when I like turned 30.
yeah, I think also too, you start to see a lot of the people you know start to die, and you know you're getting older, and then you know, like my friend John, you know, he's dead, you know, and we're the same age, you know, and
Yeah,
it's just like he no longer exists, but I do. It's such a weird concept because
yeah,
we
no,
were all just like
death is a
here.
really hard one to kind of comprehend.
Yeah.
And then like I think that's where a lot of anxiety and stuff comes from, just the fact that we can't really comprehend it that well. But like I have known people that do, and like they have totally different perspectives and like live very differently without having like that anxiety. So it's like I do think that if you are truly doing something that you love and you get to that point, then that kind of coexists with that fear of death, and it kind of almost makes it go away. Um, and that's a hard thing to get to.
Yeah, and it's just so permanent, and that's I think that's also what I think about too is one of the things that I think that makes me emotional now today more than ever is the fact that it's like we're just all just moments and periods in each other's lives. Like even this conversation is just a blimp of time, and will one day live on through video, but it's just weird because you spend your whole life trying to build these things, and that's kind of where I get tongue tied with business is as a business owner is I'm working so hard to advance these companies and scale them and grow them and
You feel like you're missing out on other stuff.
exactly, but then again, I don't have a paycheck. There is no money coming in unless I go out and hustle and create an opportunity for money, to be exchanged. And I think a lot of times that too can play a role into your relationships with people because a lot of people they have jobs or some income or their family has money. There's no safety net.
Yeah, no, and I feel that because I mean I live off the same basis. I don't
Yeah.
get a paycheck. I have to hustle for what I have, and like I've lived that 9 to 5 life before the corporate world, like where I was making fucking hella money, like easy. And then for some stupid ass reason, I decided, you know what, fuck this. I'm gonna go do my own shit. And then now that you don't have like, oh yeah, on the first I got a paycheck hitting the bank. On the 15th I got a paycheck hitting the bank. It's not like that. And that's hard. Not everybody can really even do that. It takes a lot to be able to like live like that when your next paycheck is uncertain.
Oh yeah, I could easily because in the production world, we collect up front when we start a project, and then we collect right before we go to editing. But depending on how long that project takes, it could take 3 to 6 months to get the project done. So I collected in the beginning of 6 months, and now I have to wait another 6 months to get their other half of it, based on them. So it can be a period, where it could be 5 to 7 weeks where there's no money coming in the door at all. And and then as soon as it does, I mean, obviously, I mean, we're not the most expensive company in the world, but we're not the cheapest. And with that being said, it's enough to recuperate your funds and get everything back on track. But yeah, like I was talking to my sister's boyfriend during Thanksgiving, and he's like, "Yeah, I could never live like that,"
It's hard.
and
And
it's okay.
I think it's something that a lot of, and I think that aspect of it is something that a lot of people don't see because everybody that is like an entrepreneur or running their own business on the outside, it's easy to make it look like everything is just like fucking easy peasy, you got everything you need and everything like that. When on the inside, it's like, well, fuck, what am I gonna be able to pay my employees next week?
Hmm.
How am I gonna pay rent? Like, we only did this much in sales this week, so it's like, well, shit, everything's just gonna go into bills, and so it's easy to like from the outside looking like, oh, you guys fucking, you must be rich, you have everything, look at all this shit you got, like all these businesses and everything. But it's like that doesn't equate to that. We're building it to hopefully one day be that way, obviously, but we're all still in startup phases. So it is a lot, and it's mentally draining. Even doing something that you absolutely love and have an intense passion about can be extremely mentally draining.
Yeah, and I think also what you got to realize is it's not for everybody. And like Instagram says, there's a reason why a bus has 15 seats and a Lamborghini has two, or Bugatti, or Ferrari, or whatever you want.
Yeah.
The idea of the concept is you're taking on a lifestyle that is unpredictable, has a lot of risk. You could lose a lot,
You lose
but
everything.
yeah, but there's a glory in going off the battlefield like broken like that, and and it's kind of like I've never been in the military, but I can see it as the same thing as like going to war and then coming home with or coming home from like that day on the deployment with blood on you, and going through all the emotion of what happened through the day. Same with business, you know, sometimes you can have like the worst interaction or the biggest mistake happens and you have to deal with that, and it will literally just feels like your world's ending,
Oh, dude,
and
I
you
mean,
just question everything. And
I know we've talked about it, but I've never talked about it like publicly or anything. But like the other store before we sold it was absolutely mentally fucking destroying me.
oh yeah, well you're also running to Manassas 24/7, like
Yeah.
every turn.
But then it's like, even though you're doing something you love, it's easy to fucking to get into that spiral and like just overwhelm yourself, even just because you feel like you have to keep going in order to keep this thing moving.
Well, and that's why the power of delegation and getting other and being able to replace yourself in a place of business
I mean,
or
that's
anything.
fantastic and all, but it takes money. And when you're kind of coming from where we're at, you can't just off the bat hit that kind of stuff, you know.
True.
You gotta wear a lot of different hats, you know?
Well, that's the beginning stages, but the idea
Of course, in the future, yeah.
is to get that, because you don't, you know, and that's one of the things, you know, in my own business is I don't want to be the owner operator anymore. I want to be the owner, you know. But back to like the mental health stuff, you know, during at the car accident, you know, there was a lot of very dark periods, dark thoughts, definitely thoughts of, you know, what it would have been like if I was gone at that period. And I think that had brought a lot of things back that I hadn't dealt with as in the past. And it kind of just really helped, you know, hit me. I mean, there's times where like, you know, I could just like start like crying for no reason. You know, I'm not even like sad about something. I just feel sad, you know.
Yeah.
So it's been really heavy lately. So I think this tour too will, because one thing interesting about Pearl Jam. I'm a guy that lives off of musician and lyrics and kind of like studies them, and like really like that's how I really like learned to love songs. And Pearl Jam has a song called Alive, and in that song everybody chants I'm still alive and sees it as a very kind of like a positive thing, like a chant, you know. And in that song he's actually writing about his 13-year-old self and how the person who he thought he was his dad really was his stepfather, and his dad had already died, and his mom told him this after his dad died. And in the song, or in I guess when she was telling him this, she heard, or he heard his dad's voice in his mind saying I'm still alive. So it was actually like a negative experience that he was singing about, and that chant in his mind was not a positive thing, you know. But throughout the music industry and experience with the crowd, the way they would chant it, I'm still alive, actually helped him justify it in his mind and help see it as a positive thing, and actually learn from the crowd how to deal with that situation in his mind. And kind of like with this road show, there's a band called One Less Reason, which I really love. And one of the lyrics is, when I was looking for a change in you, I found a change in me that I didn't see. And I feel like part of this experience is I feel like I will gain a lot by having these conversations with these people to justify how I feel inside. You know what I mean? And it's a way for everybody to come to the table, because it doesn't matter how tough you are or like how strong you are. We all have emotion, and emotion is very real, and it's something that should be celebrated and, you know, tolerated and respected, and something that, you know, I definitely think, you know, it should be, you know, more on the talk list.
And I think it's something, and you kind of point to something interesting there, because it's something I've thought about honestly a lot more recently than is that when the age that we came up and grew up in, I think you might be a little bit younger than me, but not much.
What
Or we're
year?
like the same age. I was born in 90.
90?
Yeah.
89, bitch.
Okay, so we're like the same age.
Bow down to your elders.
But like when we came up, like when we were kids,
Younger.
it was like boys don't cry, boys don't have emotions. Like that
Exactly.
was like ingrained in me by my like
Yep, my dad.
father.
Yep.
Like yeah, like so it was like you're from a very early age you're taught to fucking just bottle that shit up, hold it down deep, and don't ever let it out. And when you're taught that when you're that young, it's hard to unteach that.
Yep.
And I think that's something that I definitely suffer with regularly.
Yeah, well, and that's something that needs to be recorrected in society.
And I
Is
think
that
it is.
everybody's
I think it is
cries.
more like as far as like with kids these days versus like when we were growing up.
Yeah,
I feel like it is a little bit more so accepted and a little bit more normal than it was then.
yeah. Well, in today's world, I think too is we're coming to a world where more people are coming out about how they feel, and that also helps the conversation and the narrative that big athletes and big people that we see as like almost like invincible or like celebratorial, to have them
Yeah.
share their experience. Like Drew Barrymore, she is a great
Charlemagne the God was my first like celebrity intro to like seeing people really talking about mental health. I mean,
yeah,
he pushes it hard. He has his whole like he does like a mental health seminar thing that's free for anybody. I think he does it in Atlanta. But
yeah.
yeah,
And that's the type of thing, and I think there's so many people, and I've been one of these people for a long time, who think that they're alone, and that there aren't people out there that feel the same way, and that sometimes you're like you're just crazy, or maybe you think that like you don't want to be a burden, or what you are upset about or feel is stupid, and it's all validated,
yeah,
it's how you handle yourself, what you do about the situation. And one of the things about my story, that kind of goes back, right after my marriage, I got engaged to a girl named Lindsay, which I have tattooed here because she's dead to me. And then that's me right there, the Indian, and it has 13 feathers in it. And she's the one that I told you earlier that didn't believe in my dreams. And we went to Arizona.
she's the one that left you on the side of the road.
Exactly. She's the one who left me on the side of the road in Arizona. I was in the Ketchner Mountains, which in Arizona are the only mountains to have stalagmites and stalactites. And in the mountain, I was like, God and universe, I don't care what happens, but I'm going to chase my dream. I'm going to be successful. And I don't care if she's in my life or not. And you have to be careful what you say to the universe, because the universe can take its time, or it can act directly depending on like its circumstance. And we were at a pizza restaurant, and her parents hated me because they're all like military, and they all assumed that I would end up in a trailer park. Not that there's anything wrong that lives within a trailer park, but in my case, they were using it as a derogatory thing, like I'm no good, and that's all I ever amount to. And no matter where you live, it's home. But what I'm saying is, they just had the nastiest thoughts towards me. And when um everything went down, there became a yelling match in the restaurant, and they were telling me how like disgusting I was and how I didn't deserve their daughter and all this other stuff. And we got back to their house, and this was like Sunday. It was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and they're like, pack your bags, you're going home. So I'm like scattering my phone trying to get Uber. In Arizona, there's not Uber like there is here in Virginia, and I finally found a bus
At that
stop.
time, it probably is now.
Yeah, I
That
mean,
would
I
have been when
guess
like Uber was just getting started.
2013, I guess,
Yeah.
yeah, so it makes sense. And so I found a bus company. Now, the problem with Fort Huachuca, we were on the military base in Arizona, is it's 3 hours from Tucson. Tucson's 3 hours from Phoenix. I was flying out of Phoenix Airport, so I had to travel 6 hours. So I finally found a bus, and I told them the location when they took me there, and it was an abandoned bus stop. And I was like, this isn't the bus stop. And they're like, too bad, get out. And now, right before this, um, my ex came out of the house, and I was like, what are we gonna do? And she's like, well, I think it's best that we break up. And I was like, cool. I was like, I'll take the necklace and the ring back. And she's like, what do you want those for? And I was like, I'm going to sell them, buy camera equipment. And she never gave me them back, but she would never wear them in front of her family because she was nervous about what they thought. But the guy that she hooked up with, a guy that honestly, I just think that, anyways, he was everything that they described me as becoming. So, needless to say, I don't think that they have a real relationship anymore. Plus, she got these god awful tattoos all over her body and gained like 300 pounds. But what the point of the story is, when I got home, I was so brokenhearted. It took me 13 hours, and this is the second time I've lied at the airport. This is how it brings it all together, right? So when I got to the airport, obviously I'm not having a good day.
Yeah.
Well, I told the airport that my grandmother had a heart attack and I needed to get home. And I've been crying the last couple hours, which wasn't a lie. I was crying the last couple hours, but my grandmother time was safe and sound. Anyways, they ask you a bunch of questions like what hospital, blah blah blah, and I'm like, listen, I am like, I'm just out of my mind right now. I just need to get home. And within 3 hours, I was on another airplane back home, and that's the 13 hours of the feathers on my tattoo that stand for the 13 hours it took from being left on the side of the road to being back home. I arrived home December 23rd at 9
Right before
a.m.
Christmas.
Exactly. I took all of that hurt and frustration, and it was a lot. I mean, I probably didn't get over her for almost like a year and a half, you know? I took all the hurt and frustration, I put it into my company, Good Luck Steph. And I didn't retaliate, I didn't do anything stupid.
You're gonna bleep that out?
Huh?
You're gonna bleep that out?
No, I talk about the production company now.
Okay.
It's going to be one of the sponsors for the podcast.
Gotcha.
Plus, it's important for them to know, my credibility and kind of like where I stand.
Yeah.
So I'm trying to be a lot more transparent, like this conversation. You
Yeah.
can just fact check a lot of this and then easily figure it out. But
yeah.
I put all my work into it, and now I've been in business for almost, at the end of this year, we've 15 years doing this, and
been pretty fucking successful at it.
Yeah, and then here's the crazy thing: when Logan came about, me and Lacey were a one night stand. She came over for photos and left with Logan. And we were in custody battles for the first year of me and Logan's life. Me and
Lacey were?
We were not together the first year of Logan's life. We had custody battles. We had lawyers. We were fighting for full custody.
Really?
We were recording and documenting, using everything we could against each other. Oh, it was bad. Well, anyways, my ex got a DUI at the time. Her name was Shayla. And because I'm owning my business and trying to really become something, I told her, I was like, listen, I can't be with you anymore. I was like, I can't be with somebody that's going to be reckless enough to go out, crash their own car, and get a DUI. I just don't respect that. So I dumped her. Well, when I dumped her, right before this happened, I took a bunch of gifts down to Lacey's and said, listen, this is a Christmas offering. No more lawyers, no more bullshit. We're just wasting money, wasting time. And now, at the time, we had a guardian that lied them. And for those who are in custody battles, they'll make decisions for your kid, whether it's good for you or not, because they think of the child first. And that could also be removing the child or giving the other person, more ability. So the best thing to do in that situation is try to work together. And at the time, I came down with all those gifts. Well, Lacey had fallen asleep, and I pulled the glasses off of her face and put them on her nightstand because we had stayed the night. And my ex-girlfriend saw that, and she lost it. The next day, all I heard was about it. Well, anyways, when I dumped her, I called Lacey, and I was like, hey, we need to meet immediately. And I was like, listen. So I drove down to Richmond, and I was like, listen, you can be co-owners of all my companies. We could do this thing together, be a real family. Because one thing that Lacey said to me was the fact that maybe you won't give me a chance, but one day you're going to want to know what it would have been like to be a real family, and that's going to haunt you. And I was like, damn she's right.
She hit you hard for that one.
Yeah, dude. And she said, after that, she said that to me, she just let it go. And it was like, whatever is going to happen, happens. Oh no, here I come. Well, she's like, so I took her out to dinner, and she turned me down and she's like, I don't believe you. She's like, absolutely not. She's like, you're lying. You're going to use this in court. And I was like, no, I promise. So a couple weeks went by and I was working in Baltimore and I was filming till like 3 a.m. for this company and it was snowing and we talked the entire night just about everything, Logan, everything. And Logan, you know,
You'd been like what, like 1 or so at that time?
well, yeah, we got together right before Logan turned 1.
Okay,
So anyways, from that event, I drove from Baltimore, Maryland, all the way down to Richmond, Virginia, got snowed in with her, and we've been together ever since.
Nice.
And that's just the power, but that's the power of opportunity, clear thinking, you know, being able to see things for what they are, and honestly, aligning with the right people who love and trust you and want to be around you. And that's also what's so important about mental health. And honestly, I think one of the reasons why I'm able to do so much is because, you know, Lacey plays a big role. She's a big help. You know, she's the other half of me. So, you know, it's all about teamwork. And like I said, to live these different life stories, like I've been incarcerated now. I spent 3 days in jail. So, you know, it wasn't anything serious. Speeding, 125.
How do you spend 3 days in jail for speeding?
Okay, so here's what happened. So my ex-wife, Elise, she was in Virginia Tech. She was a very smart person. And I used to go see her all the time. And when you take from Northern Virginia, you take 66 to 81 all the way out to Blacksburg. Anyways, I was coming back. It was like 3 a.m. in the morning. Nobody on the road. I mean, the roads are pitch black. So I want to get home. And so I'm just gunning it. Nobody's on the road. It's just
car or motorcycle?
Car. And I passed the cop and I saw the cop. I could see the reflection of, you know, like the lights off on the side of the road. And I was like, fuck. And so I immediately just pulled over and he gave me a ticket. I had to go to court. And they wanted to suspend my license for 9 months and give me a restricted license.
For reckless?
No, they were going to try to charge me with intent to kill because anything over, yes, because at that speed, the judge said that anything that I hit, even myself, would be dead at that speed.
That's true.
So at that speed, it's reckless and driving with intent to kill. This was in Staunton, Virginia.
That's a misdemeanor?
Forget what it was, but anyways, I was.
Well, that's weird. All right, well, I'll stop it there anyways because we have a giveaway time now. And now, honestly, it's a good time to go into questions as well. If you want to watch the rest of it, you can absolutely do so on my website. But let's see here. All right. And also, this is the time too where you guys can ask questions. So definitely dive into questions you have, Agronomics. If you have any questions too, you can go ahead and fire away. And then let me get this giveaway set up. And what do you think we should title the giveaway today?
Let's see. Not sure.
All right. Well, you're a lot of help. Let's see. Hashtag story.
There you go.
Bam.
That's what I was thinking.
All right. I like it then.
Now, is this a blind giveaway?
It's not a blind giveaway. I'm going over to the hat and I'm going to pick out a grassroots hat. And you can help me pick out which one we're going to give away.
Awesome. Yeah, you had a pretty good selection in there. I was really liking pretty much all of those.
I'm surprised. Why isn't people are entering, but it's not calculating? See, 0 entries. What? Oh, dude, one thing cool about okay, yeah, something's not working.
Yeah, that's weird.
I'm like, I know I can't spell, but I'm pretty sure Story.
Let's say you got it right. There it goes. Well, we got 14.
Like story. All right. In Root Nerds, I tried to make you a mod. I just can't find you on YouTube for some reason. Your account. All right. So, and then I'm also going to take you upstairs to the garden to show you what I'm about to harvest tonight. So, Gronomics, you're going to pick the hat we're going to give away.
All right.
If you see the hat that you want because you're my mod, I'm going to be giving you one. Don't give that one away.
All right. Let me see.
So let's start with the fire ones, which I believe are boom boom.
That's a good one.
We got those two. We got this one, the license plate one. That one's pretty nice. We got that black front, which I really like.
Oh, nice.
Oh yeah. And I got so many pins that some of these are gonna definitely get pinned up. This one I really like. You got that gold dab coming right off the mountain. Let's see what people are saying. Show the inside of the hats. Okay. So the inside. Woo!
That's what I like about these hats too. The inside's all custom print like that, and I could tell it's very silky smooth.
Oh yeah, well it's all high quality too.
Absolutely.
Look at that. They just take that extra time and detail. And each hat is different. 804, I got a hat for you too. So just so you know.
804 said this is a tough choice. I agree. I agree.
I got way more hats, dude. I got like 50 hats in here. All to give away and hand out to people.
I do like that one.
These are the nice ones. I'm definitely keeping one of these. Let me pull out more. Tell me which ones you think.
Well, I like number one, the first one you showed off.
Which one? Which one in the box?
I think it's near the top left. Yeah, somewhere in there.
These? One of these?
Yeah. Either one of those or like the license plate one was pretty cool.
All right. We'll ask the community. All right. All right, community. Here we go. Which one do you want? Left or right? Left Wait on. Right or left? I'm dumb. Right. Right is the bear. Left is the license plate.
Okay, let's see.
Say bear or license, so we know. Or left or right. That works too.
Okay.
All right, we're gonna start counting right after dang it. So count down from dang it. Left, right, left, right, left, left, right, right, left, 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 right, left, right. You are the one I'm wearing.
Oh, another one for the license. License.
Mm-hmm.
If
Well,
I had to
dear.
guess, I think the license plate has maybe a couple more.
All right, renew license plate. All right.
Yep.
Bam, license plate. So, like I said, the giveaways. Check this out.
See, that's awesome. I really like that.
I'm a chameleon.
That's really awesome. I like that.
There we go. Get it on right. All right, so put that one back in there. You're also going to get, give me a second. Granomics, talk for me.
I'm muted. Just realized I was muted. Like I was saying, don't forget to enter for the giveaway. Make sure to type in story. Those hats were pretty cool. They definitely hooked you up on those hats. Very good selection. Very excited to see those be given out, and definitely excited to see who's going to win this license plate one. So he put you on the spot. Yeah, that's what Madman does. He puts you on the spot. Hope everybody's having a great day. Yeah. About to take a dab while you guys enter. I really like your jersey that you got, Madman. Oh, what we got?
A complete Mills kit. Mills liked the fact that I was doing these giveaways so much, they gave me a whole bunch more of these. So you're going to get your hat and the Mills kit. Now remember to enter your giveaway so you can get it fast and in a hurry. And remember, those are waiting on a giveaway. They are coming this week. And tomorrow, I promise if we put them out, you'll go to giveaways. You will go down here. You will enter the giveaways. Let me refresh this real quick. Bam, that we have going on. And you will snag your swag. You will fill out this form. Bam, and you are all set. So, with that being said, you are going to win the hat and the Mills.
It's a nice giveaway.
Usually just put that right there. It is a very, very nice giveaway.
Mills pays the bills.
Well, Mr. Root Nerd, since you are sponsoring the event, I can get you. I will send one of these to you. Well, he's sponsoring the giveaway, and if you guys don't know what I'm talking about, we are talking about the Madman Plant Barbecue Smoking Smokeout, hosted by me, GI Genetics, and Dead by Dawn. And this is October 12th at Homegrown, which is going to be an awesome event. Not only are we having the event, but we can read about it. We are going ahead and we're raising money for breast cancer. GI Genetics' wife is a breast cancer survivor, and we are going to be raising money. And if you want to know how we're raising money, it's very easy. All you have to do is go to my other Instagram page, which give me 2 seconds here.
Super excited for the 12th. It's gonna be a great time. Lots of vendors, great smoke out, great meat.
On my website on Madman Plant, if you click the link to your link, it'll take you here. And we are raising money for breast cancer by flying Gronomics out to Virginia. Gronomics lives in Arizona, and I met him earlier this year in Arizona. And what's great about it is every ticket or every dollar that his ticket costs, which we estimate about $800, is going to be raised by me and GI and given to the charity. The charity hopefully will be attending the event and can take the check right then and there, which is going to be really great because it's going to get back to a cause. It's going to get a grow me from another state here. And the Grown-Ups is a great guy. And if you read this, you can watch his story, which has been on my podcast, and you can learn a little bit more about Gronomics and the emotional challenges he faces and the story that he has to tell and just the value that he brings to the platform and to the community as a whole. So I'm really excited, even if it's $1 and everything helps. And then our gold and silver sponsors right now are the Pink Sloth and A to Z Meats. And what's cool is we have a swag bag sign up. You can sign up to be a swag bag member. There's only 100 spots available. Now it is a minimum donation of $10. And what that $10 goes towards is and more money that we can raise for the charity. 10% of all income that we have, that besides it goes towards the event for like shirts, hats, the bags, the banner, the cups, the plates, and everything like that kind of has to be funded. The excess will partially be donated off to charity as well. The idea is to raise as much money, so it's more than $800 that we're able to do that day. And with a bunch of smokers who love the community and who all, I'm sure, know somebody that has dealt with cancer, this is a great opportunity to really give back and to be different within the community. And it gets somebody out here. And next year we plan to do this again and make it an annual event. And maybe we'll get somebody else out here as well. So please, if you find in your heart, whether it's $1 or $5 or whatever, think about getting Gronomics out here to Virginia to help us out. It's going to be very cool. And if you can't attend an event, I highly recommend it. We have keynote speakers, we have food trucks, we have vendors. It's going to be an event. Plus, not only did A to Z Meat sign up to be our silver sponsor, they're also donating 300 people's worth of food. So this food is all free. So you can come eat barbecue the whole day and just hang out and smoke weed. It's going to be unique. So with that being said, let's get back to the giveaway. Yes, Macho, please try to make it, dude. You and your wife are just so awesome. And road trip, let's go. Richmond, Virginia, straight up 95 for you, Joseph. All right, let's go. Boom.
Good luck. Let's see.
Hey,
Nice.
Arizona guy. Dude, yes. Awesome. All right.
Nice.
Now that we know the winner, you will go in, you will fill out all the information, make sure you fill out what you won, and this will be sent out to you tomorrow. Now, I did put the link in the chat. This is question time. If you guys want to ask me questions about my story or anything like that, now's the time to do so for the next like 20 minutes, and then we're going to do one last small little giveaway of some GI genetic seeds because it's always fun to give some GI genetic seeds away. So let's go. What do we got, guys?
All right. AZ grows. I'm not sure if I know what that is, but that's awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah, shout out to GI Genetics.
Yes. Great guy. Awesome dude.
Dab time. I'm down. I think I can do a dab. This thing should not be totally dead. Let me see here real quick.
Somebody say dabs.
Also, wanted to let you know that I have also set up my own Patreon. And this helps support me on the travel. So this is for if you want to support Madman Plant. But I have some exclusive content that I'm not posting that I did behind the scenes. And I want to thank Macho because Macho has already signed up as a member. And I really appreciate that. And what I'm going to do is take 10% of all my earnings per month and add that until October. And that also is going to be donated. So I'm taking money out of this as well. So some really cool behind the scenes content as we travel. I'm also going to be doing more exclusive stuff on here. Paul knows a whole bunch about tissue culture. So we're going to put some of that on there. So some really cool stuff that's going to be member only. Soon it'll be all on the website, but as we build that up, I just have Patreon right now just because it's fast and it's easy. But yeah, no, the platform is going great, and I can't wait to be in Vermont next week. And then following that, we have a little bit of a break. I'm going to be at the beach with my son for his birthday. That's what he wanted to do this year. So we waited a little bit longer. And then as we get ready, we're right now, as far as the barbecue goes, we're figuring out the trophies. We're getting everything situated. We have a couple more sponsors that are about to jump on to help make this all possible. We have tons of the vendors already lined up. If you want to compete, you're more than welcome to do so. If you want to attend, please come. It's 100% free. You're going to love it. Did you feel free or for? Did you feel free for everything or scared? What do you mean by that, CC?
Yeah, explain if you can. So read up. Oh, here's the question right here. What was it like being a kid by yourself in hotels and going to parks?
Wait, who's the Oh, read up first. Okay. I think
Yeah,
it's a different conversation.
I think she asked a question above prior.
See, I'm doing my best here, but I am ready for a dab. And what I'm smoking on is this Cresco. And this is some sugar. I think it is. It's almost gone.
Fresco's pretty good. You got some sugar wax?
Oh, I think I'm starting to understand. He's asking about when you were, well, it's a she, but asking about when you were 14. So, okay, so I didn't live out of like hotels or anything. When I was 14 years old, I had almost committed suicide, but instead of doing that, I stole my dad's credit card and went to Florida. And I was in the hotel room for several days by myself. Okay, so I've always been a very social person. So from the time I got on the plane to the time I got in my taxi, I called a private driver. Yeah, so I had the dude's phone number, so I would just call him when I needed rides, and he would come to the hotel and drive me because he worked for a private company. So like a private, so instead of like driving in a taxi, it was like a black Lincoln car, and I wasn't scared or anything. I had my dad's credit card, and I was having a blast. Like I called my dad sometimes when I was there. I spent a lot of the time at the Jimmy Buffett Cafe. I have a. Let me see here. Hold on. Let me show you. I have pictures. Check this out. Hold on. Okay, well, I had a picture frame when I was there, which I'll post later. This is when Chris Rock, I mean not Chris Rock, Chris Brown was under 18 years old, and I actually have a photo with him at the pool at the Hard Rock Hotel in Florida. And when I met him, I didn't know who he was, and I was asking because I went up to him and I was like, "Hey, listen." I was like, I don't know who you are, but whenever you walk around, people keep running up to you. And I was like, I'm assuming you're an artist. And we started talking. I actually got to meet his parents. But I have a picture in the pool with them at the hotel. So when I was there, I actually had a lot of fun. I've been always a very adventurous person, going out by myself, spending a lot of time alone. Like I grew up without a lot of friends. So being alone never really bothered me. It was more of, I wish my dad was like a multi-millionaire so I could spend as much money, I was kidding, as possible. But yeah, I wasn't really nervous. Plus, um, I've always I've always been into like criminal justice and like murder and all like the like the Law and Order CSI type stuff. So I've always been kind of like a paranoid thinker, like knowing that these things can happen. So I'm also very like cautious of my surroundings, and I go with my gut. So yeah, no, I spent a lot of time, and anything could have happened to me. Here I am by myself, but it was just one of those things where you know, um, I didn't play around. I was in when in at a good time, so, didn't let, people know too much about me, but got to know people, and just kind of kept it moving. Okay, so when I got to the hotel, so like I said on the airport, I lied and said my grandmother had a heart attack and was in the hospital, and that my mom was in Florida taking care of her, and I needed to get there, and I had her card. But so when I got to Florida, I was able to do that on my own through just calling the airport. When I got to the hotel, yes, that's when they asked me where my parents were, and then I actually had to call my parents, and they actually had to talk to the hotel to verify that yes, I'm their son. That's their credit card, you know, and so, and to please let me stay. So, yeah,
I got a question for you if you don't mind.
please, I'm an open book.
Um, so what was I gonna say? Because of your childhood and everything you're going through, do you feel like you didn't get to have a proper childhood? And and if so, do you use like what you learned from all of that now, with with your son now and everything, and get to relive like in a way like what you didn't get to?
Um, well, my son lives a very isolated life too because he's homeschooled and we're on the go 24/7 with business and the Madman Plant. So he doesn't have a typical childhood where he even goes to school or sees kids on a daily basis. Um, as far as myself, ask the first part of the question again.
Hold on. First part was crap. I'm having a stoner moment right now.
Oh, about like normal experiences. No, I've never really had
Yeah.
normal experiences. I never had a traditional wedding. You know, I was never, you know, um, I was always like picked last on like the teams, or I was never invited to like parties or things like that. I've only been to like one house party my entire life. You know what I mean? So, growing up, I grew up very isolated and alone. So I spent a lot of time just by myself doing my own things.
You feel
Um,
like you had to grow up faster because of
well,
that?
no, because I lived in a very sheltered home. So there was no real responsibility. Everything was just taken care of. I just was living my life type deal.
Okay.
Oh, I feel like I had a proper childhood. I mean, I felt loved. My parents were extremely good to me. Unfortunately, they're not so active in my life anymore, and that's their choice. But um, what do you call it? I do feel like in a way I had a proper childhood as far as being loved. I was never, abused sexually or physically. I was always in a safe space with people who had my best interest, who, were always there for me. So as far as the proper childhood, I feel like that I just I'm ADHD, so with that, you have to understand, and this is what a lot of people kind of get. I always consider myself kind of like a fine whiskey, right? Not everybody's gonna like me right off the bat. If you look at my chart, which goes over my personalities, I have a strong like leadership and dominance like personality. So when I get something in my mind, I am like gung ho about it, like tooth and nail type deal. And I can be very in your face and very energetic and alive. And a lot of people sometimes they don't know how to channel that. But that's just my ADHD. In a way, it's an asset to me. It allows me to have the drive that I do, and be able to put the passion and the energy and the feeling into what I'm creating. But with other people, it can also turn people off, and some people don't like that. You know what I mean? And I've had struggles with people who don't necessarily get me, or they don't understand what I'm about until much later. Um, let's see here. I had to cook and clean, do my own laundry by the time I was 10. Yeah, see, by the time I was 10, I was not doing any of that. He's just an asshole. Yep, I am an asshole. That's why I don't like 804 do anything when he's over here. You sit. You sit. I'm just kidding. Yeah, see, and that's another thing. That's why these experiences are so great because some people had to grow up fast. Lacey, and an example, she's one of those people that had to grow up fast. She played the mom for her mom, essentially. So it's just one of those things where okay, in the chat, when does the human brain, when does the child's brain start developing? What age does the child's brain start developing? Better not look it up. What?
Your mic's on. I can hear you.
You can hear me?
Yeah.
Or are you just reading my lips? I don't have any lips, Lieutenant Dan. Okay, 18 and 23. That's a guess. Anybody else want to guess when the child's brain starts developing without looking it up? Cheers to dab, y'all.
I would take another dab, but I probably shouldn't.
You got work tonight?
Huh?
You got work?
Oh, I already went to work today.
The child's brain starts developing at 28 years old.
Interesting. After 20.
Keep asking me questions. Oh, also, soon I will no longer be shooting the podcast. Well, maybe it's not the child's brain, maybe it's the human brain. I don't know. But I watched it on a podcast yesterday, and they said the number 28. So that's what I'm giving you, Casey. I'm just messing with you. But what do you call it? Soon I will not be shooting in this room anymore. I will be building out a custom area in the big room where you can see the tent, where we'll have way more space. And that's where I'm going to be doing the podcast from now on. So a couple weeks, we're still, we have to clean everything out and then reorganize and everything. But it's going to be really cool. And I'm really excited for the new space.
We got a question. When did you get your first tattoo and which one's your favorite?
All right, cool. So my very first tattoo was that little motorcycle. It was actually the skull first, that little skull. And then the motorcycle was added later. And the motorcycle, that's my Kawasaki Vulcan 750. That's the first motorcycle I ever owned. This is my Heritage Softail. And when I was in Wildtech, somebody actually drew this, and I have the actual drawing that I'm going to put in the picture frame that this was actually tattooed off of. See, I have Heritage Softail tattooed there, and then I have Harley Davidson motorcycles, which when you're in a bike club, everybody says they do tattoos. Not all are very good, and yeah. So that was that.
Which one was your favorite?
My my favorite tattoo, probably this one. It says El Tuto Grande, and it's a pacifier. Me and my wife had the same one. Is because our son farted a lot, so we called him El Tuto Grande. And we were in Florida at a restaurant, and I drew it on a napkin, and we went straight from dinner to the tattoo shop, and we both had the same exact tattoo.
Interesting.
Yeah, when I rode into Florida, I got this one in Las Vegas at 3 o'clock in the morning, and the guy did it for free for me because he wanted to do a sugar skull, and he's all right too. He wasn't that great, but it says "Viva la Rebel," and I fell asleep during it. I'm supposed to be talking to a tattoo artist right now to donate the work that I do. And we're going to do a tattoo together for the SmokeBusters logo, but I just haven't heard back from him. So the SmokeBusters joint on the side with the ribbon and stuff. So that's going to
be badass. Anthony asked most painful spot to get tattooed. That's a good question.
That would ask him, not me. Shit on my neck. Okay?
A lot of people are going to say the neck. Honestly, I'm not going to lie. The top of the hand, that one kind of hurt. Some on the neck hurt for sure, but so this one on the right over here kind of goes on my head, but you can't see it, but it goes behind my ear and up on my head. Yeah, and when he went on my head, that hurt really bad, I ain't gonna lie. And I do want to get my head tattooed, so I was kind of double guessing that one, but definitely the hand and the head so far for me was the most painful.
Yeah, whenever I get tattoos, I'm like, why does it have to be so big and detailed? I should have just got a smiley face. I hate needles. I hate pain. I'm a wimp when it comes to that shit. I do not like that.
I like it.
I don't know. Especially in your fucking head, dude. When I dyed my hair and the peroxide was burning my skull, I can just imagine that's how the tattoo feels. But then the vibration and the pressure, add that, and you're probably there.
Yeah, certain spots like because I got my chest tattooed and it goes on my collarbone just a little bit, and you can.
Do you have invested in ink? Because you have way more ink than I do. Did you pay for all that, or did you know somebody and they hooked you up with some of the stuff? Like all my stuff pieced together. It's not all at one time.
Yeah, mine is the same, but I try and like collage it all together. So I got a buddy that does tattoos, and I paid for him, but he gave me a good price for him. So nice. I would say probably a couple. I would say at least at least $1,000 or $2,000. I don't know. Okay, I'm not really sure.
Maybe it wasn't. Wait, how much?
Maybe like $1,000 or $2,000. I'm not sure.
Lacey's tattoo of her squid on her arms. Now, mind you, I had the Indian, I had Diogenes, the Indian, I had the triangle, I had the motorcycle, and I had the skull. But the entire rest of the arm, putting it together like it was, that was like almost $1,000. And I did this all in 8 hours. You know what I mean? I sat there for 8 hours straight. Oh, it hurt like a bitch, but I didn't want to have to come back. I was like, no, dude, we're gonna do the tattoo, but we're gonna do it now, and we're gonna get it done, and I'm done. We're not doing an outline, and then I come back for shading. Fuck that shit. Let's go. Get it done.
That's how I am too, and I'm like, all right, like let's not even take a break. Let's just go for it.
Right? Yeah, dude. I hate it, but I'm like, even when I get the blood drawn, I'm like, all right, let's go. I'm like, oh yeah, baby.
So what's weird is that's one thing I can't do is the blood drawing. I have a weird phobia with getting blood drawn. I don't know why, but I'll get tattoos all day and shots, but I hate. I don't know, something about the needles right there I don't like.
Yeah, I can't stand it. That's why I got Honey. I usually got Lacey holding my hand. I'm a baby about it. And they're laughing at me. Dude, I don't know. It's a psychological thing. It's one thing because they're drawing on you. It's a little bit different. But, at times it just feels like it's like somebody's like scratching you really hard. And like, just hurts. But yeah, just a single needle into the vein. Took 10 hours. Yeah, see, that's what I'm talking about, dude. Fuck that.
It's a long time. I think the longest I've ever sat is probably about 4 hours, maybe 4.5.
So, as far as paranormal activity, yeah, we talk a little bit about that in my paranormal activity, which we're gonna have that and the space one again coming up soon. So I've been disorganized. I'm gonna plan it all out and get on it. I've just been swamped with the tour, and I'm literally like, huh. I was gone last week. I'm home this week. I'm gone next week, and then I have my own company, and my company's blowing back up again because this is our busy time. So I'm out in the field. So I'm literally like never home. So, the biggest thing I'm trying to do is just stay consistent with the podcast and the lives, and that's why I'm behind on the giveaway. So I do apologize. But we are going to get back to all that good stuff because I had so many requests for another episode. So many more people wanted to come on, which I think is great. So I'm very excited about it.
Anthony asked, I watched it wondering if there was anything you didn't say.
Well, Anthony, that brings me to a great question. And what reference do you think that that I didn't say, I guess? Here to support. I'm here to support you, my dude.
I've had a
What?
I've had a UAP experience, but I didn't know I was having one, or I didn't know it was one during the time. Now that I look back on it, I'm pretty sure I had one time.
What does UAP stand for?
Unidentified fuck. Goddamn, you have to Google it. I'm on stoner mode today with answers.
Anthony's gonna type into the chat. Just have a feeling.
But anyways, I used to work on the side of the freeway, and so we'd be out there super early in the morning, right before the sun would come up, and I would go smoke a bowl before we get going on the freeway. And so I'd go out to a bush, and I'm out there right as the sun's going up, and I was with one other person that smokes. We're sitting there smoking, and I just look up, because I'm just look up, and I see this like cigar shaped thing just way far up there. I'm like, damn, what is that? Luckily, I had somebody with me, so they, I didn't sound crazy when I went back to the truck to tell everybody. But I just see this cigar thing going almost out of the atmosphere. It was going straight up, and then all of a sudden it shifted, almost like it floated, and then I thought it went out of the atmosphere because it just disappeared. And I was just sitting there tripping, like, what the fuck was that? Like I said, I had somebody that witnessed it with me. But now that I look back, during the time, I didn't think that's what it was. But now that I know more about, all of this, I think that's pretty sure that's what it was.
Okay, that's pretty awesome. Yeah, unfortunately, I've never seen anything. Believe me, my entire life, even when I would tour the abandoned buildings and everything, I would hope to meet a ghost. My goal was to meet a Casper, a ghost, and then help the ghost escape. Yeah. And it never happened like that. But
it's crazy, man. It makes you it lets you know you're alive. That's for sure.
Or soon to be dead.
Yeah, me and Melissa experienced some pretty intense paranormal activity. It really had me questioning things. It's so many things. I sound crazy when I talk about them, and it's hard to talk about them because they're so whoa. You know what I mean?
Maybe y'all need to come. You need to have Melissa with you on the next paranormal activity, so we can bring some of those topics up. That would be amazing.
That you know what? I think we should do a round 2 of that and bring her on because she's a great speaker, and I think she has a lot of insight on that too because she was there too, witnessing it.
Oh fuck yeah, dude! All right. Well, I'm going to put in the calendar. We also have the Millionaire Mindset coming back up. We have What else do we have here? Well, let me check my calendar real quick here, and I'll tell you who we coming up. So, coming up as far as guests and people you should be aware of are going to be. All right, let's see here. Let's see here. We have Green Zone Growers coming up, and he is going to be talking about. Give me a second here. He is a 51-year-old husband and father of 2 girls. Before he met his wife, he was a functioning alcoholic as a teenager. Started smoking weed at the age of 10, but grew out of it and found alcohol to cope with childhood traumas. Then we have Cherry Stoner, who has a quick recap of a prolonged sexual abuse by a family member from age 6 to 12, bullied from every angle, blamed my weight for my depression. Instead of finding the root, art always helped me cope, painting, writing, poetry, and drawing. We have CC420. She's a home grower who doesn't smoke. That she grows for her husband and uses cannabis for mental stability and physical alignment. And then we have, give me one second. I don't know why. See, people need to fill out this form completely and put their username. And then we have Nicholas, who's going to be coming on, and he's from Miami, and he suffers from DHD and insomnia with some OCD and anxiety, and has been through tons of meds. Weed checks all the boxes for him. And then we have Root Nerds. He's going to be coming on, and we're going to be talking about germination, especially with the Aurora Plus. His new blog on his website, the dangers of plastic, especially contaminants found in recycled materials. And then let's see here. We have Allison Justice. She hasn't filled out a form yet, but a lot of great people coming up, and these are back to back. If you want to schedule on the website, all you have to do is go to SmokeBusters podcast as such, like so, and then right down here, you click I understand, and then as you can see, July is already full. So we now have August available. So if you want to get on the show and you want to get on soon, I would definitely do so. And please, anyone and anybody is welcome. One thing that Mythic Woodwork said about our show is that we are very welcoming, and he felt heard. He felt like, he got his message across, and he felt validated. And that's some of the responses that I look forward in it. And then I just keep reading this off because I'm just so excited about this. But I want to read this to you. This is by Flower Child. And she said, I want to let you know that being on your show and talking about my addiction really helped me feel comfortable with my story and has made me want to help others. I actually applied for a residential recovery. I recently applied for a residential recovery specialist here in town. You don't need a license or certification, and it's looking pretty promising. Thank you so much for the strength. I would have never applied for a job like this before because of my past. I always thought I wouldn't be able to do something like this because of my addiction. And that is the reason our platform exists, people. Is to give people the value and the light within. And as a Mason, it's all about the light. And even here on this Pink Floyd, you see how when one light of beam comes through, how many colors and waves are made through one beam of light spreading out. And that's kind of like with what we're trying to do is, is spread out that encouragement and acknowledgement and getting people to realize that they are powerful and that they already have, credibility, which is their story. So when I get things like this, it makes me feel really, really good inside. You know what I mean? So
Yeah, that's awesome. And Flower Child's a great person. I personally know her online, and we've chatted a lot. And so I think it's really awesome. And it's awesome to see people getting inspired from seeing people. And we have a lot of first-time people. I think that's what's awesome, too, is a lot of first-time for the show. So,
well, let's get all inspired and get on with our nights here.
oh, yes.
Bam! Let's go. A GI genetic pack of seeds. That's right. The real crew. Woo, 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 woo. It's actually been pretty constant this entire night. Last live, we got the highest ranking, which is right now 46 on a live, which I really appreciate all your support. And as we grow stronger, please like, share us. I'm shadow banned pretty heavily. I used to have a huge reach on Instagram. I would do like numbers like 500 new followers a month. We reached organically about 130,000, accounts per month. And then I got shadow banned, and I am slow moving like a fucking snail to just get one follower. One day I'll have gained 10 followers. The next day I've lost 12 followers, and then I'll suddenly go like one or two, and then it'll be stagnant for days. But I see the likes coming in, and we're so active in the community. Who wouldn't be following us right now? I mean, we're on a 15-state, 12-month road show. We're traveling almost every other, week, and then it's going to break for 2 months, and then when we get to the later part of this year, even more travel is coming up. I mean, guys, it's just incredible, and it's all because of you guys and the community and the stories, and one of the greatest things is the voices and the people who we talk to, like Macho's wife. When we were at the hotel, she got very emotional and broke down in tears right outside the restaurant in the lounge during our 20-minute podcast about her traumas and what she goes through and how she uses cannabis. It's very cool, empowering things. Yep. See, you already know, Runers. But that's why, you guys, it's not about numbers. And that's why you're a fool if you follow somebody just because they have high numbers. You need to think about community and the value that you invest. When you invest your time and energy into people, you need to understand that you need to get something out of that. And if you're not walking away feeling fulfilled or inspired or educated or motivated or even just a little bit more better than you did before, why would you waste your time in that realm? So really think about that. As yourself moves forward, you're always investing. So put yourself where you're going to get the most value out of life. And whether that's your friends, whether that's your family, whether that's your job, whether that's the people that you surround yourself to, if they're not putting you in a higher positioning, backing you, helping you out, being there for you, why do they exist? And sometimes it's tough to cut certain people out, but if you really want something in life, my opinion is You need to be like mission oriented. Come up in your head with the goal of what you want, and you're going to, regardless of whatever happens, you're going to stay in that realm until you get exactly what you want, exactly how you described it in your own realm. You can have anything you want. The problem with most people is they're weak. You know, it takes balls, it takes courage, it takes getting rejected, it takes doubting yourself, doubting your product, it takes wondering why nobody invests and why nobody's there and why nobody's listening. It's all the things that you do in the night, in those hours that nobody's there. That's what counts. That's what builds that millionaire mindset. Like we talked about, I can't wait to have another one. Is that mindset is built before those dollars ever come. You have to be in it to win it to a level where you will sacrifice everything. I have sacrificed my son's birthdays. I've sacrificed my own birthdays. I've worked on holidays. I've worked late hours. I've done a lot of things for my brand and my company, and that's because I believe in it. So it can take years. I mean, I've been doing my production company for since 2012 is when I started. And I'm still not a millionaire. You know what I mean? So it's just one of those things where you're gonna have to. It's being in it for the long run. That's what it's about. If you're in it, if you're in it for anything in your life, like parenting or your friendship or your relationships, and you're just not, and you're in it for the short run, you will always get that type of result. You need to put yourself in a position where you're a little bit like neurotic and a kind of like a little too much with it, and people will think that, but that's okay. You know what I mean? So that's my motivation spiel. Rooting for nerds. Rooting nerds. Okay, what do root nerds do? I missed something.
He was just saying he has a list of weekly podcasts up on his wall to come support people.
That is awesome, bro. Root nerds, I will say, Mark is a great guy, and he is down for the count. He is always in my life, which I can't thank you enough. I really appreciate everything that you do with the community, your product, just your presence. It really does mean a lot. And I know that I can speak for a lot of people in here that we really love you being here. So thank you, for, being here.
Yeah, definitely shout out to Root Nerds. Always supportive, always in the lives, always in the community. Great guy.
Yeah, everybody in this community, everybody that's right here watching is amazing. So
Yes.
shout out to everybody. So, all right. So here we go. Because I need to go eat dinner. I'm motivated. That's right. You are motivated, bro. All right. Here we go.
And I feel like we need some music that plays when it spins.
Nice.
Yep.
Yes. Yes, dude.
Wait for that comment.
Yeah, because he just won 2 on another live, I believe, right?
I think so, yeah.
That's awesome. Sorry, Anthony. But there we go. Yeah.
Very nice.
Well deserved there. I will have GI get with you. Well, no, I have his being. I still have tax stuff. Never mind. I got you. I will send those out. So guys, Renomics, do you need to keep it at 8, or would you be able to do it earlier? Is this too late, or is this just good? Because I need to let everybody know. Because
I can do it earlier. I just might be a couple minutes late in the beginning, but we can definitely do it earlier.
Why don't we start an hour earlier?
An hour earlier?
Well, let's ask everybody. Does everybody like 8 o'clock? The only reason I'm asking this is I just stopped coaching because the season ended for my son's soccer. So I don't have the obligation where I get home at 7, I have an hour to get ready. Do you guys like 8? And then also, I have something very important I need to talk about. I want to improve my experience with you. So what I have done is I have created a suggestion box. And this suggestion box has a couple of different topics in it. And you can go in there and leave your submission of what you think about the podcast. Oh, what's up, Creative? Glad to see you in here. Another little AZ guy. And with this form, it's going to allow you to help me improve my experience. So if you want to see something, if you feel like something would be different or better, anything like that, please let me know what you guys think. And this includes the ideas for, if you're local, for the barbecue smoke out, if you're non-local, for the Grow series, and then the podcast. So things you'd like to see me do on camera for the show, and then things you'd like to see me do on podcast.
Nice.
Yeah, because my idea is, and my goal is, I want to create every time a better and better show. So this way, you guys enjoy, and it's something that you want to see, and it helps benefit you. So the form that I just put out, I'm gonna have it on the website. It probably won't be on there tonight because I just don't feel like doing it because I have to do all this myself. But I did put the form link in there, and if you have questions, you can message me. All winners, make sure you go to the website, to the giveaway section. And what's cool is, if you guys don't know what Zapier is, I use Zapier today to connect JotForm to ShipStation. So now when Mark goes to give his giveaway entry, it'll automatically go to JotForm. JotForm will automatically send it to ShipStation, and ShipStation will automatically create the label for me. So I don't even have to type in the information anymore. Yeah. So if you guys don't know what Zapier is and you need an automated workflow, it does so many different things. So, hey, look, it's Madman's better. I mean, Macho's better half. Yeah, because Macho's not good. I'm just kidding. We were just talking about you. I'm glad that you're here.
So it looks like we got a couple people saying earlier would be cool.
What? Earlier would be cool?
Yeah, we had a couple say 8's okay, and then definitely a couple said earlier.
I would love to do 6 p.m. I want to be fair to you and Melissa because it takes up 2 hours of your time. So she's generous enough to let you do this. So
6 would put me at 3, and at 3 o'clock I'm still at work.
Okay.
So
what about 4 o'clock?
4, I can do 4. Like I said, I just might be a little late in the beginning, but I can do 4.
Okay. Well, see, the thing is, guys, I rely on my awesome mod Gronomics to help me out and be here for the channel. So yeah, Grace, you have to understand that Gronomics is also 3 hours behind me. So while it's 10:21 p.m. right now for me, Gronomics is still 7 p.m. or 7:20?
7:20, yeah.
Yeah, so that's what we're dealing with. That's
But yeah, I can definitely do 4.
4. And what time? So 4 and 3, 7. So okay.
7.
So we'll do 7 then. And that's awesome, Tommy. If I do need help, I definitely will reach out to you. I'm hoping that it can work so that it goes uninterrupted because I would like to bring the platform earlier, like I do on Sundays with you guys. I just feel like more people will be able to attend. You know, if you're East Coast right now watching this, you have work tomorrow, you have kids, it's going to be hard for you to do that. But if it's during the time that they're eating or, you know, everybody's kind of doing their thing, it works out, you know, real good. Well, yeah, see, and that's why he said, "Wow, it's almost been 2.5 hours." It's because I keep the conversation going. I keep it moving, so it doesn't feel dead. It doesn't feel like it's been a long time, and that's why for me sometimes too, I'm like, "Oh man, I need to talk about another subject," and I'm like, "Oh, dude, it's almost 2 hours. Like, holy crap!" But then
Yeah,
again,
actually, a
I
lot.
talk.
Yeah, you make time go by really quick. I even when I look up and I look at the timer, I'm like, oh wow. Doesn't feel like it.
Dude, I love all of you guys that are wanting to help out. Yes, I will. I will put a backup people in place that want to help out just in case agronomics can't make it or whatever. I think that's amazing. You guys are awesome.
Heck yeah, you guys are freaking awesome. Love the support.
Yeah,
You
Tommy,
look,
Two Buds, and CC. I
look at
got
that.
you.
Without even asking, people are just, you know what I mean? That's what it's about. I love people like that. I love having people in the community like that. You guys are awesome.
If you go to bed right now, I'm picking another winner. The disrespect on my live. I'm just messing with you.
Bedtimes are great.
Well, that is awesome, guys. Well, I'm down to go eat some food. I'm headed over to Discord for a little bit. Come hang out. You guys are awesome. Next week, Allison Justice. This is going to be a really good episode. And she's also in the LGBTQ community with her and her wife. So this is going to be cool talking about that, plus mental health, plus what she does in the cannabis industry as well. So I'm really excited to have these conversations, and we will talk to you guys next time. Peace, Joes.
Later.